Hi Zebras, you may have seen this slide in class and I wanted to review some things with you. So when you're looking at a question that says how many less or how many fewer, make sure you subtract. When we go to the next slide, see if I can move that. If it says how many more than in the problem and all of the data is there, you still need to subtract. Make sure you stack your numbers and the largest number goes on top before you subtract. So as you know, the first thing you should do is read the title of the graph. You should make sure you take a look at the scale or key and then make sure you mark up the text. So one thing that I'm going to do is put all of my numbers above the bars, and I can see that that is 20. And if you get stuck, you can do like a little guiding line and write all of your numbers that way if that is helpful to you. And once you have all of your information on your graph, you can take a look to see if you see any clue words that will help you know if you need to add or subtract. How many less students chose reptiles than mollusks? So I'm going to know that that is a subtraction problem, and I then pay attention to reptiles and mollusks, reptiles, mollusks, and I stack my numbers to subtract. And pay attention to your ones place first, and you can use related subtraction. So if you know 6 minus 2 is 4, or 4 plus 2 is 6, then you know 60 minus 20 is 40. You can check by saying 40, 50, 60. So anytime that a student forgets data, remember it's not there. I do not see the word mammals. You're going to want to make sure you add that data in. So if it says that you need to add it in, you need to pay attention to the clue word. So again, make sure you have your numbers above. And this is the same bar graph, so we know they're talking about the Marine World visit. And because they have no information about mammals, I'm going to add 10 to reptiles. So again, if you see that clue word reptiles, you can circle it on your graph. You can make a big deal of it there and stack your numbers so that you can see your ones place and your tens place. So 20 plus 10 more equals 30. So if they forgot to include information about mammals and there were 10 more that voted for mammals than reptiles, I added my information in. I'm going to use that information to help me with the next problem. If you see the word forgot, make sure you add the number that they're talking about into the data. So if you forget, you can always go back into your paper packet and see that your answer was 30 for mammals. And we know that mammals, the number was 30. And I look for those clue words. How many fewer than means to subtract. And we're talking about crustaceans. So over here, I see crustaceans is 80. And I'm going to do 80 minus 30. My numbers are stacked. I look at my ones place and I look at my tens place. Use your related subtraction. 8 minus 3 is 5. 80 minus 30 is 50. Anytime you see a picture graph, you're going to want to make sure you make a big deal of the key and use that to skip count. So this is 15, 10, and 20. But then I see that it says if students added 5 more to the drums. So I pay attention to the drums, and 10 plus 5 is 15. I did mental math there. You can stack if you need to. Then it says, how many more votes? How many more than means I have to subtract. So I did part one, but now I have to do some subtraction here with keyboard. So I pay attention to keyboard, which is 20, and now I pay attention to my new number for drums, which is 15, and then you can stack your numbers. Let me make some space for myself. And you do 20 minus 15, and we know that's a difference of 5, so can't do 0 minus 5, ungroup your tens. There's 1 10 instead of 2 10s, and that 10 goes to the ones place so that you can subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. 10 minus 10 is nothing. So your answer is 5. And there were a lot of other questions here. It's really important that you know those clue words. How many fewer than means to subtract. Remember, tallies are going to be in groups of 4 with the 5th tally crossed out. And let's go back to that one. How many more than? When the information is all there and provided for you, you know that you need to subtract. And be very careful with picture graphs like this that have halves. You have to think, what is half of 10? So I would count 10, 20, 5. And make sure that you put your numbers next to all of the apples to make your job so much easier. How many less than? I know I have to subtract. How many more than? I know I have to subtract. And then this one asks you how many were sold in all of these months. So I would have to pay attention to March, February, and April, and I would have to add all of those together. I hope these tips are helpful to you. And then the last part that we're going to use is you would have to practice making a picture graph or bar graph. So you can practice that at home with any data that you choose. Create a question comparing. So I can't just say, how many toys did so-and-so purchase? I would have to compare them. How many toys did this person, and this person buy all together? Or how many more toys did this person buy than, that wouldn't work. How many more toys would this person buy than this person? How many fewer toys would this person buy than this person? So I hope that's helpful to you guys, and I hope you get a chance to review this.